Aha! Welcome to First Attack. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
So we're going to be doing Mortal Kombat X all day today, all night. We're going to be introducing the game, its engine.
Welcome to First
Oops,
Attack.
that's going to need to be muted.
Nine.
Excellent.
Sorry.
No problem. And we'll talk about the game engine, the mechanics, all the basic stuff. And then after that, we'll go through all the characters. We'll try to keep it brief. Hey, there are only 25 characters, right?
Yeah, all three variations.
Yeah, there's like
right?
75
so,
in a way.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
no, but we'll see. We'll try to get through everything, and we'll start as we usually do by going through the absolute basics.
Yeah. So again, this game is very different. If you're coming into the fighting game scene from Street Fighter, from Guilty Gear, from Tekken, or all these other games, and you're like, you know what, all these people are playing Mortal Kombat. I'm going to learn this game now.
Yeah.
It's very different than most of the other games that you've played. So we're just going to go through this at the very basics to kind of give you an idea of how the game goes. And then we'll go into the characters. So
Right.
you'll figure out who you want to play.
Yes.
So let's switch over to the game here.
Okay. So we have the classic dudes.
Yep.
Oh, let's get on those. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So you're Scorpion, I'm good old Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the absolute basics go, let's just talk about the movement.
Yeah. So basically, you can walk forward, walk back, crouch, and jump. I mean, jump forward and jump back. That's pretty much going to be your standard 2D plane fighting game.
Right.
Right.
Pretty much every game has that.
Mhm.
It also has dash. You can dash forward.
Yep.
You can dash backward. You'll notice at the top of the screen that part of that bar goes away. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But just notice that for now you can do a back dash, forward dash, and then the last movement option that's universal is that you can run.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you do that is by pressing forward, guard.
Yeah.
There-
Basically, just hit block when you're in the middle of a dash. It's the best way of putting it.
You don't even need to start the dash. You can press forward, block forward.
Oh, really?
Let's see. Yeah. You see,
Yeah,
forward, block forward.
interesting.
Yeah, you don't need to be in a dash. You can do dash.
Oops, hang on a second. My buttons are in the wrong place. There we go.
Right, there you go.
Well,
You-
no, that wasn't a run. That was not a run. Oh, there
Oh,
it is
there you
right
go.
there. Oh,
Yeah.
but I double tapped block. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
As you
Okay.
said, you can do a dash and then
Mhm.
press run, and you can cancel. But yeah, so I did it just there.
Right.
But I think it's probably more effective to just do forward block or
Yeah,
forward,
yeah,
forward block forward, whatever is better
Really?
for you.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just like forward block. So that's
the only
easiest
the only
way.
reason I recommend that is that if you screw it up, you'll get block rather than dash.
Right.
So a little bit less commitment. Speaking of block, we're talking about that being a button.
Well, one thing I really, really want to talk about running here because there's
Sure.
something that's really, really messed up about the way run works.
Okay.
And that is if you start running, he will just keep running until the stamina meter goes away, right?
Yes, that's that bar at the top of the screen again.
Now, every fighting game that has a run, you can stop run by pushing back.
Yeah.
That is going to be your number one instinct.
Yeah.
Is to hit back. Guess what?
Doesn't work.
work in this game.
Yeah. Now,
So-
down back will work.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But back, you're right. A lot of people will just try to block backwards, but
Uh-huh,
you have to get out of that.
Right. So the easiest ways that I found to cancel run. So while you're running, you can do anything you want. So you can hit a button, but most importantly, you can block. So if you want to run and stop, you can just hit block and that'll stop you.
Right.
Or you can hit down. Down is also what I use a lot to cancel it.
Right.
So.
You can run. You can do a forward jump. You can run and press a button. Other than that, yeah, for example, if you want to do a neutral jump or a back jump, you have to stop first.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
But just tap block again, hold up back, and you're good. So the running is a little bit unorthodox, but once you get the hang of it, I think it's not that big of a deal.
I do like the down back option. That's actually nice because there has been so many times where I've been playing in a match and I start running and I'm like, no, I don't mean to run, and I tap back and he just keeps running and I
know what you mean.
run into an uppercut and I'm like, I'm so good at this game.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah, so one thing I want to add to that also is that in MK9, if you're coming from MK9, when you dashed, it was very important to be able to dash block.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen in this game because of the run mechanic. So now the best way might be to double tap block or just hit down back and block. You know?
Yeah, what you can do is you can run then block.
Right.
You know, wow, my own hands. Well, you know, you get the point. I was
Right.
doing it.
You just mean like that, basically.
Yeah, just
like
run
that.
then block, that's all.
Right. Yeah. So I'm actually having trouble getting used to this when I play because from MK9 I would always do the dash cancel to gain position.
Right.
Now I just run at people and die because then I start running and then I'm like, oh no, and hit back and die.
Yeah.
So, you know, just get used to using the other ways to cancel it. But if you dash forward and tap block, you are not going to stop right away. So, okay.
Okay. Right, so that's movement stuff. Now, let's talk about the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So the buttons are, we call them 1, 2, 3, and 4, but that's...
front punch, back punch, front kick. Oh, let's do this.
Yeah.
Front punch, back punch, front kick, and back kick.
Right, so there are 4 attack buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, of course, you have the crouching ones. Everybody's down 2 is an uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
You have down 3, of course, down 4. And then on top of that, most characters have, well, every character has some command normals. So everybody has back 4, it's a sweep.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone's universal moves are down 2, which is
Yeah.
the uppercut, back 4, which is a sweep,
Yeah.
and then pretty much down 1 and down 2 are pretty universal with these
Yeah,
characters.
look, everybody's down 1 looks more or less like this. Everybody's down 3 looks more or less like this, and 4 is pretty much like this. You know, of course, it's like with anything. Everybody's crouching medium kick in Street Fighter 4 looks okay. But of course there are variations, and,
Right,
and same in this.
Dude, we just traded. Yes.
Trades are in. Yes, they weren't in MK9.
Yep.
That's why James is happy.
Yeah, they just picked one guy and said, you win.
Yeah.
For the whole game.
Yeah.
Not even just
It
that
was,
one time, yeah.
But yeah, as always, yeah.
Okay. But in any case, so those are the 4 main attack buttons.
Right.
And you can kind of consider 1 as jab, 2 as fierce, short as, you know, front kick is short, and back kick is roundhouse. You're going to hear people accidentally say that all the time on commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, he jabbed him. Oh, he
Or
missed
like
the jab.
heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But like I said, every character has command normals.
Mm-hmm.
For, let's see. So for example, here's my stand 4.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my toward 4.
Right.
You know, so every character has a lot of those.
Yes.
And that's because it's a very string-based game.
Mhm. And keep in mind that it is unique only to standing. There's only forward or back. There's no offensive crouch buttons or anything like that.
Just a couple. There are just a couple.
Okay,
Just a
okay,
couple.
okay. Oh, dang. I can do... Interesting. I'm doing spin kicks without actually going to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, it's a very string-heavy game. This is going to be something that's more familiar if you're coming from a game like Tekken.
Right.
Very important to know which strings your characters have. Let's take a look at just go to the move list.
Right. So if I go, for example, to Scorpion, here's all my normal buttons here.
Right, back, forward, down, that kind of thing.
If you see anything that's in yellow, that's specific to variants. We'll get into that in a little bit. But if
Yeah.
I go right 1 to combos, you will see that there's all these strings in here. So you see triangle, triangle, different people's button configs. So they actually show you what buttons you're supposed to hit as opposed to the name of the buttons. So for example, those strings that you see there are going to be front punch, front punch, front punch, front punch, back punch.
Right.
So for example, this is my front punch here, but if I tap it twice, I do a 2-hit chain like this, and if
Right.
I go, I can also do 1, 2, 3, right? Or did
1,
I
2. What? No, it was 1, 1, 2.
1, 1, 2. That's right. Did I?
I mean, I'm assuming that was 3, or that was 2.
R2.
It's
Oh,
R2.
oh,
It's
that's
R2 too.
roundhouse. That's
Oh,
roundhouse.
it's roundhouse?
That's
I don't know.
back kick.
Okay.
So I can do that.
Okay.
There you go. So
1, 1, 4.
1, 1, 4. Yeah, like that. Now, if you notice one thing, you can do them on width.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do them anywhere on the screen. So
Yeah.
it's actually kind of important for some characters.
Well, it's gigantic because it means that the footsies game is pretty different in this because of that.
Right.
But I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But just as far as strings go, very important to remember at least a few of your character's strings. It's like in Tekken, you have
Right.
a ton of strings, a ton of buttons. Not all of them are useful. A lot of them are not useful. and you just have to kind of figure out which ones are going to be useful, which ones have range, which ones are safe.
High or lows are going to be very important.
Which ones are mix-ups?
Yeah, you're going to have to figure that out. And it's going to be tricky, too, when you actually play the game against other people. You have to memorize what the opponent's strings are, in essence, too, because they're going to start hitting you with highs and lows in their chains. You're just going to have to recognize what they are.
Right.
Now, for the most part, characters with really good high-low chains are punishable on block, but that's not always true.
Not always true.
Not always true. So
yeah.
But
So strings, very important. We'll talk about individual strings when we get to the characters. But that's not all the buttons are. Oh yeah. As far as air attacks, let's just describe what the air attacks do.
So this is pretty universal amongst all the characters almost.
Definitely these effects are universal, although they look different in some cases, but the effects are the same. Right. So neutral jump, you have two buttons basically. You have neutral jump punch. This is one. This is two. They're the same.
Exact same move.
It comes out the same. 3, 4, or 3, 4, same. You'll notice that the kick always knocks down like that. Always does that splat. The punch will always cause a ground bounce. And then when it comes to jumping toward, punches will, they just start a combo. They keep the opponent standing. Jump kicks knock down.
Yes. Differently though, you see there. So the neutral one caused the splat, but the diagonal ones caused the knockback.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, as far as comboing from jump punches, consider them just the start of a string. That's the first hit in your string. So an important one for Sub-Zero is forward 4, 4-4-2. Yeah. So I'm going to do this by trying a normal timing, which is you press the button in the air, then you press the other button when you land.
Right.
Let's see how that works.
Oh,
you blocked it. Well, you blocked it again. Now this time I'm going to do punch, then immediately forward 4 in the air.
Before you land.
Before I land.
Oh, look at that! It comboed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the start of a string. That means you have to commit more than you might in other games. Again, that's how the footsie, that's how the pressure works. It's more of a commitment. But again, just consider it start of a string. Got to do it in the air.
So watch, like for example, I'm gonna time it wrong. So block my jump attack, right?
Yeah.
So you see how fast this move is, right?
Yeah.
I will do punch, and if I wait until land, we'll get hit by the jump attack.
Okay. Yeah.
And you see how fast that is. Hit stun is not a factor necessarily in this game. Now look at this move. Look at the startup on this move, right? Doesn't matter. If I just hit jump punch and then back 2 while I'm in the air, it doesn't matter that button takes forever. It's going to combo. It just combos.
That's just how it works. There's going to be a lot of times we're talking about MKX where we're just like, that's how it is. And you just have to accept it. This game is, NRS makes its games a little bit differently than other fighting games. That's something I love about it, actually.
Yeah.
I really like the uniqueness of it, but you do have to kind of go into it and just say, okay, that's how it works.
Right. Now, there are going to be some exceptions. For example, I have this overhead, which is really slow. This one will not combo no matter how early I push it. So there's some overheads that are really slow that are not going to combo, which actually is kind of good because then you can do resets a little bit easier. You don't have to delay it, you know what I mean? So,
okay. So for example, I don't know if this works for sub, I guess it doesn't. If we had some character that had a very fast neutral jump punch, like Quan Chi, you would see that it's an overhead on the way down, but on the way up it's actually just a mid.
Oh.
It's not an overhead if you're doing.
So you can't do instant overhead.
That doesn't work. Gotcha, exactly.
Okay.
As far so we mentioned mid. That's like in Tekken, high, mid, low is a big part of things.
Mids and low.
And what this refers to is that you can duck highs. There you go. I'm ducking it, but I can't duck a mid.
Right. So mid hits like that.
Right.
So and then of course lows hit low.
Lows just hit unless
you have to crouch block a low.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
And then there's the fourth category of move, which is overhead, which you have to block high.
Right. You have to block standing.
Yeah. You have to block standing.
Right. So a move can be a mid overhead. We call that high.
In Street Fighter terms.
Yeah,
right?
because it hits and you have to stand to block it, so it's high.
Right.
But there's actually a high in this, which is duckable. So if you're watching commentary or something, people will probably go back and forth on their terminology. So you just have to.
It's definitely more like 3D games.
Yeah.
Because highs go over. You know, you can crouch highs But the thing about it is, mids could not be low blocked in 3D games.
Right.
Which is not the case in this game.
Right.
You can high or low block mids in Mortal Kombat.
In Mortal Kombat, high, mid, low only refers to where it touches you, where it touches your character. Doesn't refer to whether it hits overhead necessarily.
Right.
So
Like I said,
it'll say overhead. There you go.
Yeah, you see overhead. Oh no, that one's just.
That's not.
moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twos are not.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the basic buttons.
Yeah, but the main important button that we haven't talked about yet is block.
Block is a button in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Always has been. Always will be, probably.
Oh yeah, we should also mention that if you jump far enough over the opponent, your jump attacks will automatically turn around.
Oh, that's true.
So if you jump over them, you don't have to find the button that cross-ups. All 4 of your buttons will just turn you around. But the reason why that's okay is because we have a block button.
Right.
There's no cross-up.
Yeah, cross-up doesn't exist as a mix-up.
I literally was doing some training mode stuff a couple of nights ago, and I got this really ambiguous jump attack, and I was like, oh, sick. This looks like it could be an ambiguous... Oh, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Block button.
Yeah. It does work a little bit differently than an MK9, because in MK9, just stand there for a sec. You would always get this cross-up. It was like really simple to time it so that you would get the turn the other way.
Right.
In this game, you have to time it a little bit more for most characters. There are some situations where it won't autocorrect.
Right. So like at that distance.
There you go.
At this distance before an MK9, yeah, you're right. It would turn around really easily. But now you have to get at least decently over them.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, as far as block goes, it is a button. That is a little bit difficult for some people to get used to, but it does mean that side-to-side mix-ups don't exist. It's only overhead, low, throw.
Right, which is important too, because for example, like here I am, Scorpion here, I can hit you from this side, but then I can all of a sudden, boom, teleport and hit you from the other side.
Right.
So if you actually had to block left or right, it could be kind of frustrating, but because a lot of characters have these crazy teleporty kind of things, so it's kind of nice that you have this block button. It works really well with this game's design.
Yeah.
You know, especially with how many teleporty things that people can do.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, so in addition to those normal buttons...
Well, so the main thing is that you can do everything with those 5 buttons.
Yeah.
You can do everything with those 5 buttons. Now, there's 3 extra buttons that they give you, but those are all different commands as well that you can do with those original 5 buttons.
So one of those things is that you can throw. There's a throw button that you can program in if you want. You don't need to, though. It's 1 plus 3.
Right. And depending on your button configuration, there is no recommended button configuration for this game.
Yeah.
Everybody's got all sorts of different ones for this one. But that's just basically front punch and front kick.
Correct.
So the two weak attacks, you know,
Right.
that gets you to throw. Now there is a throw button that you can, put in here. So there you go.
You'll notice that if you just press throw, you'll always throw the opponent backwards. If you want to keep them forward, you have to hold forward.
Right.
Throw teching in this game is real bizarre.
Okay. I don't even know how it works exactly. I've done it by accident most of the time.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw. So press 1 plus 3 when I throw you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Now so 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Because I threw you the other direction.
Right.
Okay. So press.
Forward in 1, 3. Then, right?
I think it's 2 actually. Or 1, 2, 3. Oh, I did the wrong one. Well, that was a mix-up. All right, 1, 2, 3.
So wait, do I just hit 2 only?
Yeah.
So do I only have to hit 1 or 2 to throw tech?
Did I tell you 1 plus 3? I think it's just 1.
Okay, so do the
1,
regular throw.
2, 3. Yeah, it's just
there
1.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so just 1 or 2.
So you even though you throw by pressing 1 plus 3 forward or back, you tech by pressing 1 or 2.
Okay, so forward throw you tech with 2, and back throw you tech with 1.
Correct. Back throw being normal neutral throw. Yeah. So the throw game is pretty funky. But look, you have to think of it like it's 2D Tekken. We talked about the strings.
Yeah.
Tekken has 1 throws and Tekken has 2 throws.
Well, the nice thing about Tekken is they actually reach with a particular arm so you can react. This one, they just look the same.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
50-50 guess. It's a 50-50 guess.
It is. So if you've mixed up the opponent such that they think it's time to block everything, right? There's a double mix up after that. if now they're like, okay, you're gonna throw me, there's still a mix up that the opponent still has to guess. And of course, if we're in this situation, if I have the corner, I'm probably not gonna throw you out of the corner.
Right.
I'd rather not.
Right.
But if I think that you're gonna always tech that direction, then I'm gonna throw you out of the corner.
Right. Exactly.
So
there's context. There's context that can help you guess which way they're gonna throw. Especially, for example, if I'm in the corner and I'm gonna go for a throw, I want the back throw in this situation, so I can corner you, right? So you're gonna tech with 1 in those situations more often than you'll tech with 2.
A couple of other funky things about the throw. One of the things is that you can duck normal throws. So here I am trying to throw you. No dice. But if you block.
I am?
Yeah. Then you get thrown while you're crouching. But in general, you'll just get thrown because you can't throw tech while you're blocking.
Oh, so if I'm holding block and you throw me, there's nothing I can do about it.
You're done.
Okay.
You're done. So there are some very serious mix-ups that come in with the throw game. Personally, as somebody who likes to throw people, I really like Mortal Kombat throw system.
Really? Okay.
Because that means that
you can throw people.
It's in my favor.
Yeah.
The throw game is heavily in my favor.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a really interesting design. There's not going to be any like crouch tech business.
Right. Well, here's another question. Someone asked in the chat, can't you mash both buttons to stop the throw?
I don't know. Let's see. 1.
Oops, sorry. You want me to tech then?
Yeah, you can tech. Okay. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3.
No. Once you try 1, I think it just registers and locks you out. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
So was that back throw?
It was back throw. It was back throw.
Yeah. Okay. So I hit 1 first.
There you go.
So there you go. So
okay.
I'm pretty sure once you guess wrong, the game's like, nope, too bad. So I don't think there's any. What happens if I hit them both at the same time?
1, 2, 3.
Try the other throw.
1, 2, 3.
So it counts as a 2.
Does it count as a 2?
Yeah,
okay.
It counts as 2. If I hit both at the same time, it counts as 2.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but all right. I guess that doesn't really help you that much. But that's good to know.
Yeah.
In any case, so that's the throw system. Some characters have air throws. I don't think either of these do.
I think doesn't Scorpion?
The Scorpion? I don't think so.
It might be one of the particular stances that he has it, because he's always had an air throw, but I don't think he has it in ninjutsu.
Okay.
Maybe. So.
Yeah, I don't really know. Okay. But some characters have that. And then another one of those button combinations is stance switch.
Whoop! Which is also which is basically 2 kicks.
It's both kicks, yeah.
So if you hit both kicks, you do the stance switch. There's also a button, of course, for stance switch. Now,
so, the stance switch is kind of silly, and I'm not sure why they keep it in the game. It's it's MKX, hey.
Look,
right.
I heard in MK9 they had stance switch because the animators wanted to make sure that the animation worked well and looked right regardless of which stance they were in. So they just put it in.
Okay.
And they didn't take it out.
Okay.
And I think they've just never taken it out.
Okay.
I really wish that they just went the new method that Guilty Gear and Street Fighter go, which is you're always facing forward. You know what I mean? So like, you don't have to worry about this kind of weird thing. But in MK9, there were actually some stance-specific combos.
There were.
Very, very rare.
There were.
But there were some. So it's still early.
Yeah, we'll see.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
There may be some stance-specific combos at some point in time.
As far as practical use goes, if you're playing against a very twitchy player who's looking to react to something, like say I'm like feigning fireball. Oh, when's fireball coming?
Whoop!
Okay, but maybe I'm gonna like feign fireball. Ooh.
Right.
So it's a way to like bait some people, but
the only problem
is it necessary? No.
The only problem. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, you have to wait now.
Oh, jeez.
Once the cinematic starts, you're trapped.
The problem with it is that stance switch does have a little bit of commitment. So while you're rotating, you can't do anything else.
Right.
So if I stance, see, you just hit me out of my stance switch. I can't block in time.
But there is a practical use for it. Oh, you're doing it right now, which is that it activates your super, which is called an X-ray, which you do by pressing block plus stance switch.
Or 2 kicks. You can also hit all 3 buttons as well.
Right, whichever stance switch you want, whether you do the 2 kicks or the button.
Right, exactly.
Stance switch plus block is how you do it.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, I'm too far away.
I swear some of these X-rays are more brutal than fatalities, and it just makes me laugh that people get up after them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
My favorite one is still like when Ferrator has one where his X-ray where Farah jumps off of him and like stabs you in the eyes, right? I mean, when they do that to Kenshi, does it really matter? But yeah, it's interesting because you can cancel it. So.
Right. And then there's one more extra button. Let's see, am I doing it right now? Yeah, so you see at the top of the screen underneath the middle life bar section, there's an R1. Mm-hmm. That refers to the interactables. Interactables were a thing in Injustice. They're way toned down in MKX, but they're still in there. So you can jump off cars, you can throw things, and there's a little animation. And there's some other interactables, but
a lot of them are escape interactables.
Right, there's a lot of movement.
You can just try to get away from things.
Yeah.
Now, whatever you happen to have it configured to, that's what you'll see. So mine says square because mine happens to be square. So you can, like I said, hit punch 1 and punch 2, both punches. Hit 1 and 2 at the same time to do interactables, or use your special button.
But I think the punch 1-2 only works if you have input shortcuts on.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I keep input shortcuts on. That's the reason why. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't really want to reach to the side of my stick and press what? R1. R1. Yeah.
And there are some interactables that are in the air as well. So
there are. Yeah. So those are all the buttons. Right? Mm-hmm. We got to all the buttons, right?
Yeah, we got to all the buttons.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. I know the block breaker requires stance button, but we haven't gotten to block breaker yet.
Block breaker.
Yeah, there's the alpha counter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You want to just start getting to
system stuff?
Defensive?
Well, let's see. What else do we want to talk about here? We talked about chains. We talked about how you can do them on whiff. Let's talk about the other system stuff. Let's talk about the meter next.
Sure, meter.
Yeah, so the meter is very important in this game. So Mortal Kombat 9 and X are 2 of the more very, very meter management-y kind of games.
Yeah.
Like, probably more so than a lot of other games.
For sure.
Because you really have to think about it. Because I was playing with a bunch of the guys at Reverb game, and they were like, dude, X-rays are too good because they have armor, and when they hit, they do like 40% damage. And so that's all they would ever use their meter for in situations where they would just do it on, like, Wake Up and all sorts of crazy things like that, right? But the thing about it is, dude, you're sacrificing a lot by not using your meter for other things like EX moves and breakers. And not only that, if they block your X-ray, you just lost that whole bar for pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of painful in a way.
So with 1 bar, can you turn off refill?
Oh yeah, sure.
Practice, yeah.
Practice super meter.
Let's go to normal.
By the way, if you get this game, make sure you hit accept on the menu screen. Do not hit back like you can do in a lot of other fighting games, because it will not take unless you hit accept.
That's true. Okay, so block. So this is my regular ice freeze, but I can EX it by pressing block at the same time or just before that button.
Right.
So there's an EX, and you see it takes 1 bar.
Practical uses for that are all sorts of things. So, for example...
Very character move specific,
right, so block, for example. So, obviously, Scorpion has the get over here spear, right, that everybody knows about. But the problem is, block again, if I do it this close, I'm so dead. Like, you can do anything you want to me, right? Yeah. But the EX one... much safer on block, and I didn't hold the block button. I didn't hold the block button.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah. For example, also I have the teleport move here, right? So just go ahead and get hit by this one. Okay. If I do this, boom, I hit you like this, right? If I do the EX one, I launch you and I get juggles. So one's a combo extender, the other one is to make it safer. Sometimes you get armor off of them.
Right.
They do more damage. You know, it's all sorts of different reasons why you want to use the EX meters.
As far as the physical input of it, make sure that you press the block button at least before you press the attack button. Because if you press the attack button first and then block, you'll never get it.
Okay.
It doesn't work like that. So right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. You have to make sure that you press block before or at the same time as the attack button.
Interesting. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that explains why sometimes I don't get it.
There you go. So what I do.
So you're better to plink it then.
Exactly what I was gonna say. I always just do like almost cancel plink timing from other games. You can probably hear it in my buttons.
Right.
That's the timing that I use.
Okay.
So that's one bar.
Right.
EX usage. 2 bars, as it says. If you restart, it says breaker.
It swaps back and forth.
Does it just? Oh yeah.
Yeah, little like I think you just wait long enough.
Okay. Well, whatever. I mean,
maybe it doesn't. Oh well, whatever.
Oh,
it's only when it fills to a certain level.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Anyway, so 2 hits, 2 EX, 2 bars of meter is breaker.
Yes.
Breaker is something that you can do when you're being hit in a combo. It's a combo breaker. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Do it. So
Boom.
there you go. It uses 2. The input is hold, block, and toward.
Right. Towards and block.
Right. While you're being hit, it costs 2 bars to reset. It costs 2 bars, but that's not the only thing. Well, going back to the stamina bar up there at the top, it actually drains stamina bar as well.
Completely.
Right.
And in fact, you can't do it unless you have both stamina bars there.
Correct.
So in other words, you have to have a full stamina bar. So run at me for a second. Now if I hit you, he can't breaker it at all.
Can't breaker, even if I have all the bars.
You can't do anything about it. Now he can break it because he has. But as you see, it drains the stamina bar. Now, notice...
Comes back very slowly.
Yeah, look how slow that comes back. In fact, I'm going to run and drain my entire stamina bar. You can see that mine comes back so much faster.
In MK9, people pretty much saved bar for breaker and the occasional EX, but you almost never saw X-ray. It was really, and so I think part of what they wanted to do was make some additional liability for breaker, which is in the stamina bar.
Right.
It really changes your options. You don't have this movement option anymore. So reset again, and then attack me. So notice that we get blown far away like that. It used to be that without something like stamina bar holding you back, if you broke, you could actually run up and now you have the advantage.
Right.
But now it's not at all the case.
And not only that too. So backdashes we talked about a little bit earlier. Backdash is one of the movement options. It has invincibility. It's Guilty Gear, Street Fighter. It seems like a fighting game standard now.
It does, yeah.
To give the backdash invincibility. But if you notice, backdash drains a whole bar. And once you actually drain it, I mean, dude, so you can't mash backdash in this game. Like, I can backdash. I think I joked somewhere else that like Rose players are going to have a hard time on this game. So
It's going to be different.
Yeah, Filipino man's going to have some problems. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I say that because I know he played MK9 and he was super good at the game.
Yeah.
And I saw that and Injustice.
Injustice, yeah.
Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention about run. You have to have at least a full bar of stamina, 1/2 of the bar to run. So even if I have some bar left, I can't run. You see it flash red there.
Right.
So you have to have at least a bar to start running.
Okay, gotcha. So the other use of 2 bars is the block breaker that people were talking about before. Here, do a block string on me. Wait, what's this? Stand switch? Yeah, okay. There it is. So you hold block and you press toward, and while you're holding block still, you press stand switch. Here, you want to try?
Yeah.
Watch stand.
Interesting. So it doesn't work with the... Oh, it does work with 2 kicks.
Yeah.
I just did it with 2 kicks. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can still do everything without those 3 extra buttons.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So whichever method you want to use for stand switch,
Right.
yeah, you can use for the breaker, the block breaker. Oh, okay.
Right. So it's an alpha counter,
Dude,
but
I
it
didn't
has.
even know that existed.
Yeah, I mean it's new. It wasn't the previous. So it's an alpha counter. It has the same liabilities as breaker. It kills your stamina bar, costs 2 bars of meter, you're far away. But being far away, if you are worried about block breaker pushing you far away, maybe you're okay with that.
Yeah, some people may ask, why would you want a block breaker if you can just keep blocking, and then if a combo happens, then you can break then, right? Well, it's because block again. Look at Sub-Zero's meter. Everything does chip damage in this game.
Right.
Including my normal moves. So you see there he's doing chip. Now there's actually a lot of variations of characters that they'll even do extra chip. So for example, Liu Kang has this mode where he can put his fists on fire and he just does this pummel punch. And he drains a big old chunk of life. Now, it's not safe on block. However, if you only have a tiny bit of life left, you're going to die. So if you start blocking that and you're like, I need to live, then you can use the alpha counter to save yourself.
It seems like they wanted to make the idea of chip and avoidance of chip a bigger part of the strategy.
Yeah.
Which I think is really
interesting.
interesting.
He has one too. He has a really interesting mode where he lights himself on fire, and if he just stands next to you, you just take damage. It's not even chip damage. It's
I don't think you can even block.
Yeah, you can't even block it.
Yeah.
He just likes it. You just get warm and you start taking damage.
So the other thing about blocking, hit me again, and look at your meter bar now. So you're building meter, right? Here, hit me now. You're not building meter if you hit me.
Right. You're building meter for getting hit.
Right, but you want me to block in some situations because you're gonna get meter that way.
Block again. And if you notice, if he's blocking, he gets no meter.
Right.
So it's like flipping it back and forth basically. Yeah. If he blocks, I get meter. If he gets hit, he gets meter.
Right.
So there we go.
So it's kind of funky. So that's the uses of 2 bars, and then 3 bars. We did it before, the X-ray.
Right.
It's the super. Each X-ray, of course, has different uses, like any super.
Right, and most of them have armor on them too.
Yeah.
A lot of them have armor, so they are really good at what they need to do, which is like all of a sudden throw it out in the middle of nowhere, get your opponent ready for it, and like I said, it's 34% damage that you just saw right there. So it's a good chunk of damage, but again, if the opponent blocks it, then it's like.
It's a huge loss.
You lost all your meter, yeah.
Yeah, which is gigantic, because all those things we just showed: EXs, breakers, block breakers.
One thing, I was just about to say something about. Oh, that's right. And also, one thing to note about X-rays is they scale very badly during combos. Like you think that, oh my God, they do a ton of damage. You do the longest combo possible, and it just like does nothing, basically. So like, let me see if I can make up a combo on the fly here.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
Well,
whatever. Oh no, is that not a thing?
Oh, I couldn't do it because I did spend my meter. Never mind. Okay.
Anyway, you're right that they do scale a lot.
Yeah, it scales a lot. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else about meter?
Not that I can
so.
think of. No, I mean it's interesting because the meter is not super complicated yet. You have to manage it so carefully. One thing that I will note though is that first hit in the round gives you a bar.
Yeah.
Automatically. So it's actually super important to get the first hit in the game.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting opening gambit thing.
Yeah.
Some characters are better at it than others.
Yeah,
Some characters have big buttons, or they have armor, or whatever it is, so it's easier for them to get the first hit and get that extra bar. But, anyway, that's an important thing that started around.
Yeah. Also, another thing, just if you haven't played this game yet and you're coming into training mode, one of the nice things about fighting games, obviously, is reset, training mode so you can get back to the middle of the screen and start doing stuff again. By default, on a joystick, you can't do it. On the pad, you have to click, I think, the mushrooms to do it or something like that.
Wait, to do what?
To reset the screen.
You can't do that?
By default, on the joystick, you cannot.
Why?
Because the way... So, if you go to... Here, I'll even show you this.
I don't remember this.
If you go to options here, and you go to gameplay, there's an option here called, where is it? Pause delay.
Okay.
If you have it off, pause will, as soon as you hit start, it pauses.
Right.
if you have it on pause delay on, you have to hold the button down in order
Right.
to pause, right? So, oops. So if I have it off, for example, right? So I'm just going to go to off here.
Okay.
And then I go to one player training here. So pick some characters. Oh, you know what? Some people are, what? You know what? Oh, touchpad. It's the touchpad that does it.
For PlayStation, right?
Right,
Yeah.
for the PlayStation. But there's no touchpad on this thing.
It's just select, right?
Select is the streaming button.
You know what? I've been playing on a PS3 stick, so I don't know how it works on PS4 sticks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
On my PS3 stick, I just press select.
If I hit start, I can't reset. See, I can't reset like this. So this won't happen on Xbox One.
Huh.
This is only PS4 if you have a PS4 stick. then
Okay,
apparently.
this is interesting to know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
because
this.
if I hit select button, this comes up.
I see.
And I can't stop it. So I can't reset no matter what. But if I put pause delay on, double tapping start resets the screen.
Wow.
That's how I have to do it. And that's
Interesting.
only PS4, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's only PS4.
I had no idea.
So I'm not on crack. I'm not on crack. Everyone's telling me I'm on crack. But no, that's actually true in this one. So.
Wow. Who knew?
Yeah, and yeah, Xrd is the same way. Xrd you cannot reset with the back button like you can on PS3 and all the other ones. So you actually have to hit play and record at the same time to reset the screen. So I've actually had to get used to doing that. Dude, you don't understand. This streaming button on the PS4 screws with me so bad. Because on Street Fighter, when the round was over, I didn't mash just start. You mash both buttons. You can't do that anymore on PS4 because that always brings up the stupid streaming screen.
That's funny, man. I had no idea that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I just hadn't thought about it.
I'm not on crack.
Yeah.
It's not because it's 420 that I'm doing this right
Ooh.
now. So. Anyway.
What else to talk about now? We've talked about mobility, buttons, meter.
Right. That's about it.
I mean, we can talk about.
Like I said, you can die by chip, so that's very important.
Chip
so
is a
even
big factor.
Even normal moves, right? So you can die by chip.
Oh, turn me on person. Excellent. Yeah, thanks. Did you briefly talk about combos, maybe? How they work?
Oh yeah, let me talk a little bit about the combos because the combos are really annoying. So, well, do you want to take a break before we do the combos?
Sure.
Yeah, because combos is going to get a little bit tricky at this point because it's unlike any of the other fighting games that you've played combo wise.
Yeah.
It's really kind of interesting.
It's unique.
Yeah. So I'll explain that once we come back. Be right back.